I grew up in Todd County, Kentucky, and spent all 12 years in the public school there, which was the smallest public school in the state. And there were 14 in my graduating class from high school. I started piano when I was in the 3rd grade. That's when many people start. And had a rather pitiful teacher, and I thought, well, I like the piano, but these things are dull. And then my 2nd year, there was a new lady in town, a teacher at the school I went to, who was just fabulous. And she taught me piano. She was there just for 1 year, but I made really great progress, and I thought, this is fun, you know. And she made the mistake of giving me the Bach 2-part inventions, and I found them so interesting. Actually, she said, no, just take this one. Well, I learned that, and I thought, I gotta learn some more. So I learned about half of them for the first lesson, and I won't say how good they were. I got all the notes right and so forth. I decided, well, these others are nice, but I'd like to hear other people play those, so this is what I want to do. Not that I quit playing other pieces, but then there was no organ. I'd read magazines that had pictures of organs, and I thought, ooh, that looks nice. And so in my piano at home, I got a large piece of cardboard and drew a pedal board. So I started practicing organ music before I'd ever touched an organ. And of course, if you're playing on cardboard, you don't know if you've hit the right note or not, but at least you get started in the coordination that it takes. And it does take a lot of coordination to play the organ. Many people are unfortunate. They go to college and think, I don't know what I want to do. And I never had that problem. I knew exactly what I was going to do, and stuck with it. When Margaret and I were studying in Germany with Helmut Walcha, studying organ, we got very interested in the cantata literature and the choral literature of Bach. I was just finishing school at the University of Kentucky. I'd finished the bachelor's, had most of the master's done, but it wasn't complete, and I got the Fulbright, and I thought, I can wait and finish this, which I did. But anyway, I decided to go back and finish my degree there. And in the meantime, the rector at the Episcopal Church in Frankfort, Kentucky, heard that I was coming back to town, and we'd known each other because I was the assistant organist at Christ Church Cathedral during college. And he was the assistant rector there, and he had moved to Frankfurt and asked me to take the job. And they were just getting a new organ at that time. Beautiful, beautiful old English Gothic church. And so I was very happy about that and accepted. and started 2 months after I got back from being 2 years in Germany. Margaret was teaching for 1 year at Ohio State, and actually teaching organ and getting a second master's in German literature. We were married that summer, and we started the Frankfurt Bach choir, and that continued for at least 5 years. But after we'd been there full time for 3 years, I got this call from Rob Whitney at the University of Louisville saying that they'd lost their organ teacher in October and had to have somebody to finish out the semester. Could I do it? I said, well, I'll have to ask my boss, the rector. And he said, oh, sure, well, as long as you get your work done. So I did. And one semester turned out to be the year. And 1 day a week turned out to be 2 days a week because some more students came to study. Anyway, after doing that for 2.5 years, I went to Rob and said, I can't do this next year. I said, I just can't I'm getting more students in Frankfurt, and we still just have one car, and Margaret had a church job in Good Shepherd in Lexington. And I said, on the day that I come on Tuesday, if I hit one stoplight wrong, she's late for rehearsal, and we have a baby, and somebody had to be home to babysit, so she couldn't leave early. I mean, I said, this can't go on. About a week later, I got this call. Oh, if you'll teach theory too, we can afford to make a position. I said, well, I'm very comfortable teaching. This wasn't graduate theory. I could have done that, but it was freshman theory, and I said, then started full time. And we moved to town that summer before the semester started, and bought a house, moved in. 3 days later, we had our first rehearsal of the Louisville Bach Society. It's the greatest piece of Bach, and as the first owner of the manuscript declared in, I believe it was 1818, he'd bought the original copy from the estate of Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, and he made the statement in the newspaper. This was a Swiss musicologist named Nagli. He said, this is the greatest musical masterpiece of the Western world. Each movement is so finely crafted, and not just finely crafted, but so packed with emotion and beauty that a person hearing it for the first time without much musical training or background, if you can hear, if you got an ear, you would have to say, well, I sure like that one, and not knowing why you liked it or whatever. It has appeal to the most intellectual and the uninitiated. The orchestra will be 26 in number, and the chorus will be 65. Oh, the soloists are people that we've heard in the last few years at the Gerhard Hertz competition that we've been hosting. The first soprano was one of the finalists last year. She's a Korean girl, Young-mi Kim, beautiful soprano voice. The alto soloist is Angela Schmucker from Chicago, who teaches at Valparaiso, and she was the winner of the first competition. And the person singing in what we call the concertino, that's the 5 select voices that sing some of the really hard passages, as Bach specified should be done. Ruth Ann Fulton, she was one of the finalists for the this year's competition. Well, our articles of incorporation said exactly what we're devoted to, and there seemed to be no one who cared to do completely the kind of literature we wanted to do, and wanted to branch out and do other things, which is fine. They were good other things, but it's just that's not what our charter says that we're all about. And so if no one wanted to continue in that vein, it was decided by the board that that would be what we do. A lot of people were disappointed, and of course I'm disappointed. I enjoyed this very much.